Hi, my name is Ashley Crowder. I'm the co-founder and CEO of VNTANA. I've been working in the 3D, AR, and VR space for over a decade, and I'm so excited about this watershed moment we are having with the adoption of the technology. 3D and AR is such a great way to stand out in digital media, especially with everyone flooding the digital channels because there's no other option with COVID. So we're going to go over today ways that you can start using 3D and AR today and get started immediately. COVID has launched us 5 years into the digital future, according to McKinsey, which is incredible. Everyone now knows how to use QR codes, including my parents. And you've got to learn how to do it if you're going to eat at a restaurant anytime soon. But it's really been amazing to watch people just adapt and learn tech this much faster because we've had to. And everyone, of course, is shopping online, which we all know, the huge spike in April, but it's continued to be at about 85% higher every month since then. And studies show that once people are actually comfortable making purchases from their own home, they don't want to give up that convenience again. So this trend is just continuing. Every retailer became a D2C company overnight, right? And so the market is flooded with digital ads and content, even people who weren't doing before. Everyone is investing in digital because that's the only place to sell right now. This holiday season is going to be unlike any other. Dick's Sporting Goods, Target, Best Buy, they've all already announced that they're going to remain closed on Thanksgiving for the first time in decades. And 76% of US consumers said that they would do all of their shopping online this year. 76%. That is practically everyone. So if you are a brand, you need to get online. But the problem is, how do you stand out? 3D is such a great way to do this. Studies from Shopify have proven that having a 3D version of a product doubles online conversion rates, doubles, and reduces returns by 40%. That is massive to the bottom line. And that's because 3D gives people such a better understanding of the product. It's amazing. And that's just 3D. If you take that one step further with augmented reality and actually place that object in your home, companies like House have seen people are 11 times more likely to make a purchase. And it doesn't have to have try-on. We actually have clients right now just doing 3D apparel and shoes and placement, and they are seeing the huge lift in online conversions as well. So you can start simple. It doesn't have to be everything immediately. Start with the 3D and then move to AR, and then you can keep adding things onto it. And if you're an advertiser, people remember XR better. Studies have shown that XR actually improves learning retention, an increase of 75%. So if you want people to remember your brand and your product, XR is a much better way to do it than traditional video, pictures, or writing. And that's because people remember an XR experience as if they actually physically did the thing, not just read it or watched about it, which is really important. And if this doesn't all convince you, consumers want it. This study was recently released by Statista and said that 44% of consumers wanted AR while shopping to help them. And it's continuing to grow. So how do you get started? There's a lot of apps already out there that have basics, so you're not starting from ground zero. First is Facebook. Facebook and Instagram are currently the largest AR platform in the world. They have 1.2 million effects, 400,000 creators. It's really incredible. And this only started a couple years ago. The one thing I love is just the potential for virality. Every advertiser, every marketing person wants a campaign to go viral, and you kind of never know what's going to hit or not. Like Beauty 3000 was the very first filter to go viral. It was by Johanna Jaskowska. And what was really incredible about this is the beginning. This is January 2019. You couldn't even have a link to the filter in your profile. This is all word of mouth, went completely viral, and added 600,000 followers to her account. So if you want more followers, create an awesome AR experience on Facebook and Instagram. And the way it works is you do have to have both. You need a Facebook account linked to your Instagram account to start building it, and you can use Spark AR as their platform. It really is pretty easy. You do not need to be a developer. You don't have to write code. I definitely suggest downloading Spark AR and playing around with it. And they have tons of pre-made filters where you can just adjust colors, you can adjust logos, you can drop in your own 3D model. It's really, really great. I do suggest it. And it doesn't have to just be face filters. You can actually put 3D products into the filters. People can place it and see it in their home. It's so helpful for sizing. And this doesn't just have to be furniture. We're actually working with an apparel company right now whose accessories, their #1 reason for return is the size was different than they thought. So if you could actually place that purse in your environment or bag and understand the actual size, it's huge. So next, I want to talk about Google. You can actually advertise in 3D on Google today with Google Swirl, which is pretty cool. The perfume company Garlane actually saw engagement increase by 3 times. Dwell time was 34% longer, and people were 17.2 times more likely to make a purchase, which is pretty incredible. Imagine searching for a shoe and seeing a 3D one pop up. Now, we created one ourselves. We got to drink our own Kool-Aid. So this is a banner 3D ad. You can see the purse is moving around. And as I mentioned, QR codes. Everyone take out your phone and you can scan this QR code and it'll actually take you to a page that shows our ad. So once you get to the page, you'll see some gray bars at the top. Scroll down, and as you scroll, it'll trigger the purse to start moving. So it draws your attention. And then you can actually click on the purse and move it around, see every single angle. It's pretty cool. And then you also have Snap. Snap Camera is not just for the app. Snap really has started to be everywhere. You can use the Snap filters on Zoom, Twitch, Google Hangouts, Skype, and more. And it doesn't, again, have to just be a face filter. You can actually have 3D products floating, which is pretty cool if you're trying to push a product. And with Snap, you would use Lens Studio. Again, it's drag and drop. It's pretty easy. If you can learn Lens Studio, you can learn Spark AR. They look almost identical. They really are very, very similar. So I know it is annoying that you can't just create a filter in one place and use it everywhere. But I will tell you, if you learn one, you can 100% learn the other. They are very, very similar, as you can see. Getting a little more complicated is Unity. So Unity, I'm sure everyone knows, had their huge IPO, which is so exciting for the industry. A couple weeks ago now, I guess. I'm pre-recording this, but they're amazing, and they power 50% of all new mobile games, 60% of all AR, VR, and they have an advertising network. So you can actually have 3D ads now on Unity, not just 2D pop-ups. And they've seen crazy engagement. And their whole platform reaches 1.9 billion devices. It's a great opportunity. And besides the ad network, you can actually use Unity to build an AR app within your company's app. So if you have Adidas or Nike app on your phone, they could actually be using Unity to create the AR that's built within the app. Mobile AR apps do provide more functionality than web today. But again, you have to download an app. So if you want to do something like Try On, it will have to be built within an app on your phone. However, web is catching up pretty quickly. I am a big proponent of web AR just because it's easier. No one ever wants to have to download an app, right? If it's on your website, you can easily spin it around in 3D and place it in your environment. And ARKit and ARCore are continuing to get better and better. So Try On is not too distant in the future for web AR. But again, if you want to take out your phone and check out this chair in your house, scan the QR code. I will also be posting these slides after, so you can try it again later. So where do you start? So if you are a company that designs and manufactures your product, you probably have some 3D design files. So start by going to your design team and asking them. If you're an apparel company, you're probably using Clo, Optitex, or Browseware. If you're more an industrial company like auto, it's probably Autodesk or SolidWorks. Jewelry is typically GemVision and Rhino, at least the clients we work with. And then you kind of have your general design programs that are used across the board, like Adobe Substance, Maya, and 3ds Max. I will say most furniture companies we talk to are using 3ds Max. So start here. If you have any of these files, it's incredible. So you're not starting from ground zero. And use it. I've talked to so many clients who don't even realize that they have 3D files because it's a different team. So go to the design department and ask. If you don't have these files, it's also not the end of the world. There are tons of companies out there that will create your 3D model for you from scratch, or you can use 3D scanning or photogrammetry. We actually started a 3D scanning partner program at VNTANA. So we have a number of amazing 3D scan partners to refer people to. So if any of you looking for 3D scanning, definitely shoot me an email. I'm happy to make some recommendations. And for 3D scanning, you will have to actually mail them the product for them to capture. So you do want to find a 3D scanning company that's closer to your location. Now, one thing about all these different ad platforms is they require very specific 3D files. So that design file isn't ready to go immediately into Snap, Facebook, or anything I just mentioned, unfortunately. So as you can see, GLTF is one that's common. GLTF is quickly becoming the standard, so I do suggest focus on GLTF. I will say if you're doing web AR for iOS phones, because Apple always has to be different, you do need a USDZ file. So GLTF and USDZ, good to go on any mobile device. Next is the size limit. Obviously, the smaller the size, the faster your website and AR experience will load. So the smaller the better, but of course, you've got to make sure the quality is still good enough. So there's a balance. And then polygons. So for people who don't know how 3D is made, imagine if you were to try and draw a circle with only straight lines. You would draw that circle with as many small straight lines as possible so that it appeared to be a circle. That is kind of how 3D digital imaging works. So, but instead of lines, we're making that geometry with polygons, so either quads or triangles. And it's however many polygons, quads or triangles, that create that shape. So the more you have, the more detail you can have. Though you can do some other things with texture baking things, but in a nutshell, the more polygons you have, the more detail you can have. However, the more polygons you have, the more GPU is required. So it puts a strain on your computer or phone. And depending on what device you have, you might not have enough GPU. So that is why most of these companies have polygon limits. I will say GPUs are continuing to get better and better, and polygons are mattering less and less because phones are now so powerful. So at VNTANA, our recommendation is really to worry way more about the overall file size than actually worry about the polygon count, unless, of course, it is a strict requirement by the platform that you're aiming at. Now, at VNTANA, we've really tried to make this easy. So we actually can take any apparel design files today. So Browseware, Optitex, Clo, and any 3D scans we're completely compatible with. You can just upload them to our platform. We automatically optimize them, which means reducing the number of polygons. We also have some lossless texture compression and lossy texture compression. And then we automatically convert to GLTF and USDZ. So again, we were losing our minds doing this over and over again. We finally had to build a solution to make this easier. So it's totally plug and play for apparel, starting to get into 3ds Max as well for furniture, which is exciting, and working with a few different medical companies as well. But reach out. We'd love to be able to help save people some time. And the goal, again, is to make it easy to distribute everywhere. Once you have these 3D files, you can use them on your e-commerce site, you can use them in your social media, you can use them across all advertising platforms now. And that is how you're going to stand out this holiday season, as everyone has been forced to go digital. And the last thing I want to leave you with is this quote from Levi Strauss, CEO. This was from the fall of 2019, actually, about how sizes will go out the window 10 years from now. And what he means by that is that we're getting so used to customization and being able to customize everything that we want. So think about Nike ID shoes. That is going to come to every single product. And with the power of 3D printing, we're no longer going to be making mass amounts of products. Everything is going to be customized to my liking that I want to order. So what does that mean? That means we need 3D models online to be able to do that. And so this is a trend that is coming from all different directions for the apparel, footwear, really any consumer industry. And so with that said, make sure you start having a 3D strategy today and that it's cohesive across your company, from design to manufacturing within your ERP system like SAP, who we partner with, is one of our awesome partners. But there's many other ERPs too that can plug into 3D. The marketing teams, they can use it on the e-commerce site as well as all the advertising platforms. It should be the same 3D model. Time and time again, we have seen brands remake and rehire new agencies to create a 3D model of something that the design team already had. So if you take away anything from this presentation, take away this. A cohesive 3D strategy is one that will win. And so make sure you have a system in place in your company where you can have anybody access a 3D asset wherever they are and use the same one. If you have any questions, you can email me at ashley@vntana.com. And I hope everyone has a great rest of the conference.